Hello everyone, this is Shroomraver bringing you today a post-narrated DDT game against the creator himself, Done Deal. If you don't know what DDT is, it's a custom tier and I will put the link to the website in the description along with Dun's channel. I was messing around with the new terrain moves that have been introduced this generation. Dun was testing out his own team, including the mighty Ludicolo, who is a really awesome special wall, to be honest. It was actually just a really fun game, and let's just get right into it and see what happens. So he leads off with Caracosta, I lead off with my Ampharos, which is a good setup for me. I'm going to Volt Switch out on his switch to Ludicolo, and I'm just going to go straight into Raticate, who is really the only Pokemon that I can use to take on Ludicolo, and I play him very badly in this game. So he's going to switch straight out and go straight back into Caracosta. I'm going to U-turn, getting that Volt Turn call going, and I'm going to go into my Ivysaur. And I should have dropped a Toxic here because the switch back to Ludicolo was really the only thing he could have done, but I go for the Grassy Terrain instead, which is unfortunate because it just gives Ludicolo more recovery in the beginning. He now goes for a Substitute as I go for a Toxic, which is another silly play because there was no way I was going to outspeed him, even if he doesn't have any speed investment, which I'm not sure he does. Go into Raticate, because Raticate's really the only one that can take on Ludicolo behind a sub. And in the process of breaking the sub, I'm going to take huge damage on Raticate, which is not going to help later in the game, excuse me. So I'm down by quite a lot of health. I do have the Grassy Terrain, which does help mitigate some of that burn damage. Anyway, in comes Bayonet to take the U-turn, score a lucky crit there, which does decent amount of damage. Go into Ampharos as the Grassy Terrain ends. Goes for the Destibond, but I'm going to set up a different terrain, Electric Terrain. He's going to go into Leafeon to take basically any hit that I can throw out there. Go for the Volt Switch, and I'm going to go into Camerupt. And here is where the fun starts. He's going to switch out and go into Heatmore for the Flash Fire, but no! We're going to go for the Nature Power, which turns into Thunderbolt in Electric Terrain, which I was very happy that it worked. Going to set up the Rock Polish, predicting the Sucker Punch. Take the next one, so that I can take out this Heatmore with an Earth Power as the Electric Terrain runs out. So, Electric Terrain, as I say, runs out. In comes the Persian. Camerupt does not want to be taking any hits from that. Going to go into the physically defensive Mawile as Persian goes for the Water Pulse, running a Technician specially offensive Persian, which is a pretty cool set. In comes physically defensive Caracosta. I'm going to set up my third terrain, which is Misty Terrain, which is basically the most useless of the three. It doesn't really do anything in this game at all. Go for the knockoff, get rid of those leftovers as he pulls out the Waterfall on my Mawile. Mawile's going to switch out here, go into the Ivysaur once again, as Snowball goes for another knockoff. This time Ivysaur loses the Eviolite. In comes Ludicolo, and I go for the Moonblast, which is what Nature Power turns into in Misty Terrain, which is a nice little touch. Gonna go into Mawile, because I know he's going to go for the sub, and I need something physically offensive to break it. Mawile is the one, and I know he's going to go down whilst getting rid of the Substitute, but it's basically all I can do really. I need Raticate for the actual KO. So, Alejandro doing what Alejandro does best with his sub-seeding shenanigans, but he's just going to go straight up for Giga Drain here. He knows he's got this matchup won, and I know he's not getting out of it behind a sub. Absolutely not, I cannot afford that to happen, if I wanted any chance. So, one last Giga Drain, just going to take out Mawile from there, and I am just going to go straight into Raticate. It's the only thing I have to take this on, but it's at 7% now. Go for the U-turn, in comes Caracosta once again, who can just wall Raticate all day at the moment. Get Ampharos in there, and he's just going to go straight back to Ludicolo as I go for the Volt Switch, and this is essentially just where I lose it completely, because I bring in Raticate and he's going to take the burn damage, and that's going to knock him out, and that is going to be basically game over right now. Bring in Ivysaur. I don't particularly know why I did this. I was never going to win the matchup. I've tried it a few times already this game, and Ivysaur just doesn't come out of it well. Giga Drain can't even break the sub. He's going to get a crit Ice Beam, which really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. So, yep, Alejandro just doing his thing, dancing around like an annoying duck plant. I'm going to set up the grassy terrain for no reason whatsoever, and Alejandro is just going to be able to take me out with an Ice Beam, which is unfortunate. But I can go into Camerupt here, and if I'm lucky, I'll be able to break the sub with a Fire Blast and hopefully do some damage afterwards. But of course, not quite going to happen, because we're going to miss the Fire Blast on the first turn. Camerupt does live the Giga Drain, which is nice, and is going to be able to land the subsequent Fire Blast. But by that stage, it's too late. I go down to Life Orb, and thankfully, Ludicolo does not set up another sub. But he is now sitting at 100%. Ampharos comes in, and he puts Leech Seed on me. I just go for the Hidden Power Grass here, getting that big grassy terrain boost, which does, after leftovers and Leech Seed, absolutely nothing. So I'm just going to go for the Volt Switch and go into my final Pokemon, which is Golduck, the physically offensive Golduck, which is rocking Power Up Punch. Of course, it doesn't actually do much to Alejandro, who's going to go for the Giga Drain. I know I can take one, because this isn't an offensive Ludicolo, so I know I can take one and try and fire off an Ice Punch. I was looking for the freeze here, I'm not going to lie. That was basically the only opportunity I had. And he goes for the Giga Drain and can take out Golduck from there, no problem. And from here, it's just going to be Ampharos going for Volt Switches, basically, and Alejandro going for Giga Drains. I do set up the Electric Terrain, see if I can get a boost on the Volt Switch, which is not going to happen, unfortunately. It's certainly not going to be doing enough. And yeah, that's basically just going to be the game. It takes a little while because Ampharos is just sort of stubbornly sitting there, refusing to go down. But yeah, that's essentially going to be the rest of the game. And while it finishes, I'll just do the ending spiel, I guess. If you enjoyed this, do please consider leaving a like. If you want to see more of what I'm doing, do consider subscribing, that would be great. And any comments that you have to give would be more than welcome. Any form of constructive criticism would also be more than welcome. And yeah, that's essentially all I have right now. Thank you very much for watching, as Ampharos continues to refuse to go down. It's been sitting there for God knows how long, just surviving and hanging on. It does finally go down there. So yeah, that's going to be the end of this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I guess I will see you next time. Laters.